Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. Every now and then I like to do just a fun one. It's not always 100% serious at the time. So the two players we've got, it's a Protoss, a Protoss and a Zerg, pardon me. And spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, it's eGGz for Scythe Esports. And his opponent spawning down in the bottom right-hand side of the map, not recognizable by his ID, it's Rotterdam. You can maybe tell by the mate clan tag that he's got, or I guess mate clan tag that he's got going on. But no, I mean, I saw this replay around and I thought it's always awesome to see just people in the community playing their games, playing Starcraft. And so I thought this would be a fun one to cast. Now, eGGz is quite a high-level player, so we'll see what Rotterdam's able to do against him. But for starters, he's coming off in with a bit of a dirty pylon block to start things off. I didn't even see that probe sneak out, but it did. So eGGz going to be punished a little bit by that. But he just expands to the third base location. But never a comfortable thing for a Zerg to have to do that. But going to make Rotterdam happy that he managed to deny the Zerg taking his natural. I'm sure eGGz will try and take it later on, as it's not like he is going to follow this up with a two-base play. But, you know, you never know. And then it looks like Rotterdam actually going for a Nexus first behind this. He goes for the cheeky pylon block into the... I mean, he gets the scout off, and then he goes into the Nexus first. I guess just, why not, right? And then it is Parasite, so it's a very large map, so there's a lot of travel time and stuff like that. But we'll see. I mean, I have no idea what to expect for this game. But Overlord for eGGz just going to move across. Might eventually identify that that was a cheeky Nexus first, but we'll see if what Rotterdam's going to follow this up with. Obviously the Cyber Core, but then what else is the question? Now for eGGz, I imagine we'll be seeing him start up his hatchery pretty soon. He's just waiting for his spawning tool to finish up, or Overlord to pop, so that he could get both of his queens out, get a few lings started. But after that, I imagine we will be seeing him try and take his third base, most likely. And when it's really his natural, but it's a third base, as he already has this one here. But Rotterdam on his side of the map just getting out a Zealot in order to complete this wall. He'll have to start another building in order to make sure that is sealed in. Everything is a little bit delayed because it was in Nexus first, but overall his economy is going to be a little bit better. So in a pretty good economic position just based off the build, because, you know, he delayed the expansion just a little bit for eGGz, and now eGGz, he's got longer travel time and things between his bases, and then he's just going to want to get out an Adept and park it behind the Zealot, because otherwise then the Lings could come in and they could start working away in these buildings. But Rotterdam just building a Twilight Council right into his wall, starting a shield battery, showing some respect for this. But with that Twilight on the way, who knows what he's going to go for. It could always be for something like an Adept timing or DTs. I mean, this is pretty early for an Adept timing. This Twilight Council, just this timing off the one gate, sort of screams Dark Templar a little bit, or maybe an Archon drop or something like that, but it's actually going to be Resonating Glaives. So that's going to be on the way, and now it could be a fake, as eGGz does have this Overlord hanging around, but no Stalker or anything coming out that's going to be able to shoo this Overlord away, but so he can just scout on out. But we are seeing a few more gateways go up, so eGGz is going to have to get ready for this. This is going to be quite an early... I mean, it's tough to know exactly how this sort of build lines out, as it is based off a Nexus first, but it looks like Rotterdam maybe going for a third base, or... yeah, going to be going for that third base, following up just this light Adept timing, I guess, because it's not like he's throwing up a ton of gateways, and if he's planning a third base, then it's not a huge commitment at all. So just going to have a few Adepts go for some harassment. I mean, Resonating Glaive Adepts, they're probably one of the best harassment units in the game, but these Adepts for Rotterdam, looks like they're going to try and shade on in here, maybe shade into the main, run into the natural, and he's going to do just that, try and hunt down some of these drones. So going to get a drone or two to start things off, and then we'll see where these Adepts shade on into. Already getting 3 drones there, then actually shades into the third base. Going to make that 4 drones, 5 drones, definitely paying for itself already. It looks like these Adepts will be cleaned up, just trying to buy as much time as they can, but then that's a nice bit of damage there for Rotterdam. eGGz, upon seeing this, immediately starts up tons of drones, just seeing, okay, it's not a big commitment or anything like that. This Overlord's hanging around still, but I mean, 2 Stargates are on the way for Rotterdam, so this is pretty interesting. 2 Stargates and a Dark Shrine, but here come in these Lings. They're going to begin working away in this third base, but with these Adepts that are going to have Resonating Glaives, they're not going to be able to get much done versus this. Resonating Glaive Adepts are so handy at dealing with Ling run-bys as a Protoss player. Now, we'll see. Does this Overlord for Eggs see what Rotterdam's got on the way? No, it's just hanging on over the main base. Now it's going to go into the natural, and it will see the Dark Shrine and double Stargate. Just pretty much everything. Only thing he's missing at this point is a Robo Bay, but going to be Chrono boosting out double Phoenix, so the double Phoenix follow-up with the Dark Shrine on the way, so definitely going to force at least some Spores or at least an Overseer at one of these bases. Rotterdam playing a little bit unorthodox here, but hey, whatever you're comfortable with. Now these Lings for Eggs, they're trying to find a way on in, but this wall is solid. The Phoenix now cleaning up this Overlord. He's been hanging around a long time, but his free ride is over now. Rotterdam coming on in once again with these 2 Adepts. 2 Adepts, it's the magic number for killing off drones. There's like 3 or 4, just tons of more drones dying. So far, 12 drones have died this game, so Eggs really being pulled apart. And I mean, he was worried about like a timing attack with charge lots or Adepts at first, but now he's got to worry about mass Phoenix, which is going to begin picking him apart. And there's also Dark Templar on the way. So Rotterdam really throwing a bit of everything at his opponent. Now, Eggs may try and go for a counterattack. He's got these Banelings and he's got a good number of Lings. This DT, though, may actually scout that, but no, these Banelings are making a beeline right towards this 3rd base, and we'll see. I mean, there's 2 shield batteries and some Adepts that are split up very well, but Eggs may still try and crack this right now. Now, Phoenix coming on in. They're going to find some Overlords. There's a decent number of these Phoenix. There's 3, but and with the 2 more coming on in, still not enough to challenge these Queens, I don't think. But now these Lings, they're hitting this 3rd base. There wasn't too many probes. Rotterdam's been investing in a lot of tech, but those shield batteries actually get unpowered. However, there's not going to be enough to kill off these Adepts, and so this base will be fine. Meanwhile, these Phoenix lifting up the 2 Queens right now. There's no Spore Crawler or no other Queen in to help with this. I think a main component for Eggs is that he didn't have a Creep Tumor placed here, so he wasn't fully connected between his 3rd, and now these Phoenix are going to try and get something more, maybe going to be able to get that Queen, and they are, so Rotterdam dealing a lot of damage to his opponent with these Phoenix. Now, Egg, he's going to be planning another counterattack right now, and we'll see. I mean, he's got Hydras on the way, whereas Rotterdam just committing to the Phoenix. So, I mean, Phoenix not the best versus just mass Lings or anything like that. It takes a lot of effort to pick them all up. Now, Rotterdam still coming on in with these Phoenix, so getting lots of damage done so far. Picked off a good number of Overlords so far. Well, only 2, actually. It looked like a lot more, making that number 3, though. And Rotterdam still sharking around. He's got a good number of Queens as well. 3 Queens, 3 Overlords. And now Lings are trying to hit that 3rd base, but good defense from Rotterdam. Also warping in a DT, basically just saying, get out of here, Lings. So, playing just a very, his very unique style, but charge lot on the way. So he's going to be able to follow this up with charge lots really to be the meat in his army. Eggs, though, on his side of the map, he's trying to get up a good Hydra count in order to be able to challenge these Phoenix, because, I mean, Hydras, they scale a lot better than Phoenix do. So, I mean, just a Hydraling Bane, not the worst versus what Rotterdam's going for, as he doesn't really have an answer to tons of Banelings and just Hydras, as he's got no real AoE or anything like that. However, Phoenix coming on in, always getting something done. It looks like picking off a Queen, picking up a Hydralisk, maybe going to get an Overlord or 2, but not just yet, but going to dive on into the main base. And actually, look at this. Here goes down another Overlord. Egg's going to be supply blocked. The Spore Crawler's in position. However, Rotterdam decides to just tank through that, and it seems to work out. Just the 1 Spore Crawler. And we are seeing a lot of drones go down right now. These Phoenix, I think they're actually running out of energy. It looks like Eggs will catch 1 or 2 of them there. So staying on top of this, but I think for Eggs, we do need to see a 4th base start pretty much as soon as he can. However, Rotterdam, he's placed Dark Templar at all the Expo locations. So Eggs, he's going to have to get an Overseer in order to clean that up before he can expand. However, he may just be wanting to put the pressure on his opponent. Rotterdam really committing to a lot of tech. He's getting up charge lots. He's got Resonating Glaives. He's got a lot going for him right now, but what's he got enough of to deal with a potential Lingbane Hydra attack? He's getting up Fleet Beacon, which I imagine is going to be for Phoenix range, if I had to guess. I mean, that may be a tell or something like that, but it could always be for carriers or something like that. You never know. But, oh, actually some Banelings are rolling on in here from the look of it, but not getting much damage done or anything like that. And then Adepts for Rotterdam, still looking to find a way on in here. But we'll see. I mean, Egg's still just producing lots of Hydras. There's nothing that he really has to fear. The fact that Graviton Catapult has been started, 2 more Stargates, means that Rotterdam is going to be teching into carriers from the seam of things. But, oh man, these Phoenix just sharking around right now, going to look for something else. I mean, anything they get at this point really is going to be bonus value. Going to lift up a lot of drones, can work away on some Overlords as well, but just slaughtering a mineral line. Yeah, the Spore Crawlers deal a lot of damage, but Phoenix are actually quite tanky units. I mean, they got 120 health and 60 shields. Now, may have accidentally led these Adepts to their death as the Hydras are pursuing the Phoenix, so thanks for that, I guess, Phoenix. But Adepts do get picked off by those Hydras. That's a nice pick-off for eGggz, not having something like that coming his way, but he's got to get all of his upgrades for his Hydras. He's got to get to muscular augment, so I noticed his Hydras were moving a little bit slow. But Rotterdam, he's getting into carriers, whereas eGggz, he's finally got up his 4th base. He's getting into lurkers as well. And also trying to take a 5th base. So, I mean, this game could go longer. While Rotterdam, he's invested in a lot of tech. He still only is on 3 bases. He'll likely want to start a 4th base soon, but when you're just going carriers, you generally, you got to be very careful about those potential counterattacks or just timing attacks versus you. As eGggz army is pretty terrifying right now with all these Hydras in it. He's, however, investing in a lot of other things, but man, this is a lot of Hydras, 34 of them. Now, eGggz, though, he is getting up a Spire, getting up a Lurker Denson, not banking everything on an attack, and may actually just stay back at home. I think if eGggz was to focus on something, though, right now, he's got to get up a few more drones, perhaps, and then maybe start focusing on trying to spread his creep again, because it's been rather delayed on a large map like this. Creep spread cannot be undervalued, but, I mean, it is hard to spread creep when your opponent has 13 Phoenix that have killed a lot of your queens. But Phoenix coming on in once again. Hydras are actually going to be able to catch 1 or 2 of them. That's nice for eGggz. 3rd base can't be killed off there by those Phoenix. But they're just flying on in once again. Looks like a Spore Crawler going to try and catch some of these now. I mean, eGggz, he's transitioned into lurkers, but he's losing more and more drones here. And I mean, Phoenix are good versus lurkers. They're that critical anti-lurker unit for Protoss, actually, as they can always lift up. Now, we see eGggz, he may be planning another Baneling run by or something like that, but Rotterdam's done a good job defending his 3rd base, and he's now looking to take a 4th while he's getting up all these carriers and things. So, eGggz, he's on 4 bases while got up his 5th base now, and he's rather well defended. He's just been playing it so passively, and I can really respect this as a Zerg player because we don't know how an attack would have gone versus Rotterdam, but attacking now would be pretty risky. He's really got to go into the further tech versus this. But a thing to note for eGggz, though, is that he's only just getting his +1 range attacks now, whereas Rotterdam, he's already getting into +3 for his carriers, which means that these Hydras are going to be severely outmatched in the upgrade front. But, I mean, Hydra's still pretty darn good with the Lurker support. Ground units aren't going to be able to just get on top of them, but eGggz does need to think of something. I'm not even sure if he's identified that it is going to be a carrier follow-up. I mean, carriers are pretty naturally after those Phoenix, but we'll just have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Rotterdam just trying to secure up his 4th base. I mean, he really is starting to mine out on his main base, his natural base, going to be mining out as well. But I mean, this is just a fun game, guys. I mean, like, we've got Rotterdam over here building up a big carrier army. He's got a Dark Shrine, he's got Charge, he's got Glaives on his Adepts, he's got a good count of Phoenix, whereas eGggz, he's committing hard onto these lurkers, ran by the sole Infester here. He made 1 Infester. I mean, it could possibly get a clutch Fungal or a clutch Neural. Maybe that's for a potential mothership, but we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, he really is now focusing on this potential late-game Protoss army, but he's also got up a good count of drones, which is very good to see for eGggz, because you can't fight a late-game Protoss unless you're going for a timing attack on a low worker count. Lurker is going to deal with those Adepts very quickly. Nice for eGggz, not taking any damage to that counterattack, and yeah, so far not taking too much damage there. Looks like these other Adepts are going to get caught by these Hydras. They may shade into the 3rd base, but I don't think they're long for this world. The Lurker are going to quickly burrow. Those Adepts get picked off. Rotterdam does get good scouting from that, but I mean, he's going into a lot of carriers. The concern right now for Roddy, though, is that he doesn't have up High Templar and Storm, and that's what I was about to say. I mean, the thing that completes any late-game Protoss army is the Psystorm, as it's that AoE. It protects from the ground and the air. It really stops your opponent just diving on top of you. And they're also good at countering Vipers, but one of those morphing into Archons. However, as long as he's going to have about a few Storms, that'll be important. But eGggz may be looking to put on the pressure right now. He's got a squad of Hydras down to the south. maybe going to be looking for a 1-2 punch or something like that. He's moving out with Vipers and Corruptors, but can't engage with this because there is a lot of carriers out right now. And as a matter of fact, there's 11 carriers and only 8 Corruptors, so they are severely outnumbered there. You never want to be outnumbered if you're a Corruptor versus carriers. Some Banelings roll in, but Roddy keeps his probes alive, starts up some more cannons and pylons. However, this has opened the gates a little bit, so Egg is maybe committing right now with all these Hydras. However, he is looking for a bit of a 1-2. However, his air army actually gets caught out by all these carriers, and I think every single Viper went down there, which is absolutely huge. Now, Eggs is going to be moving on in here. If he can kill off the Nexus, that would be a very nice play, but he's got to be very careful with this army as these carriers are going to be coming for it. Rotterdam, I mean, was thinking of maybe pushing on out a little bit of hesitation there. However, Eggs, he's deciding to come on home. He knows this carrier army is coming for him. He's got a lot of Spore Crawlers, and he's got the Infestor here, so we'll see if he's able to make the hold. I mean, it's not too much in the air for Rotterdam. We'll see. All these Lurkers are in position. There's the Vipers, but they don't have any energy. The Queens are here. The Corruptors are here. This may actually be enough. However, the Phoenix are actually going to come on in, and they'll help out greatly. Eggs actually not bringing the Hydras home is just deciding to push on further in. He's got a decent economy, so he's making 13 more Corruptors. However, as far as fighting this army straight up, the few Void Rays, the carriers, able to hold on for now. And, I mean, Rotterdam, he's counterattacking. He's actually split up his carrier army. I was wondering where the rest of the carriers were, but these guys are actually going to come back to deal with these Hydras. And, I mean, these Hydras, they have no upgrades, so these carriers with their +3 are just melting them. Rotterdam's going to push on in here. He's going to be picking off what looks to be the remainder of Eggs. I mean, he's trying to consolidate his forces right now, get up enough Corruptors, maybe dive on top of this split-up army, because Rotterdam being split is rather exposed right now. However, I'm not sure these Corruptors are going to be able to get it on. Fighting over the Spore Crawlers, focusing down the Void Rays from the seam of things, and now maybe he can start working away on these carriers. We'll see if he can get up enough. One of those carriers is being kited back, but it will go down. However, it doesn't look like there's going to be enough Corruptors, and it's looking pretty good for Rotterdam. He lost his base, but he pushed in, and the rest of the carriers get on in there as he takes the game. Alright, so that was just a fun one, guys. Always awesome to cast. Casting any StarCraft 2 is awesome, but as far as just casting community members games, it's always awesome to see. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the game. I shall see you guys next time. If you leave that subscribe, you always get to see my new content, and I'm trying to put out a replay cast a day, or at least some other sort of StarCraft content a day. So subscribing really helps me see that you guys are enjoying the content, and of course you can always leave a like. But I shall see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.